There's one more other important thing I really want to discuss, and this is huge, people, and it just shows the hypocrisy in America.
Hi guys. This is pretty much Jonathon Daily.
Freedom, Georgia. Freedom, Georgia is a Black-led safe haven. And just listen to how ChatGPT describes Freedom, Georgia, which is a Black-only community. And I'm going to compare that with how ChatGPT talks about this community in Arkansas that's a whites-only community. Just listen to the hypocrisy and the irony of this. Origins and purpose. Freedom, Georgia was initiated around 2020. So before the white-led community was even started, this was started first, the Black-only community. It was started by 19 African-American families in Wilkinson County near Toomsboro. Following the murder of Ahmaud Arbery and worsening racial tensions, their goal to create a self-determined safe space community for Black people to live free from racism. The initiative draws a long historical lineage of Black settlements designed for safety, community, and autonomy from post-Civil War freedom colonies, community aspirations. Their roadmap includes selling parcels, building mixed-use development, and potentially acquiring up to 700 acres to connect their holdings. The founders emphasize health, wellness, sustainability, and cultural events like Juneteenth, campouts with hundreds of attendees, and evolving programming. I'm sure they really don't allow white people in at all, which is fine. You know, it's freedom of association. Now let's talk about the whites-only community. White-only community. Return to the land is what it's called. They have land in Arkansas and potentially Missouri expansion coming. What is it? Identity and structure. Return to Land, RTTL, is a white separatist private membership association founded around 2023, so 3 years after the Black-only community in northern Arkansas. It restricts membership to white people of European ancestry, explicitly excludes Jews and people of color. Ideology and activities. The group's rhetoric includes admiration for Hitler and the KKK, coded language around common ancestry, and goals of cultural preservation through racial separation. You just hear how different the internet, which is ChatGPT, the internet is. ChatGPT is just an AI that compiles all the internet together and stories you hear. So it's really news sources and Wikipedia, etc., that paints whites as the worst people ever. Scale and expansion. The Arkansas settlement spans 150 to 160 acres, 2 active communities, housing around 40 full-time residents. Their plan for more sites in Ozarks, Appalachia, and Deep South include potential yada yada expansion. Civil rights groups, ADL, have condemned the initiative, pointing out potential violations of fair housing laws. Of course, it's the same thing with the Black community, but they don't talk about it. Some state officials have criticized it through legal enforcement, though legal enforcement is complex. Yeah, because there is freedom of association, and when it comes to private property and private community and private business, you are able to associate with whom you want to associate. So technically discrimination is legal. So for both these communities are not breaking the law. But when it comes to the Fair Housing Act, they can argue that they're not breaking the law. But the way they're doing it makes it very hard to argue, because I'm sure the way they make you purchase property and the way they bought property, it's a lot different than a normal purchase. So they're not letting Black people come in, or the Black community's not letting white people come in and make an offer on a house, because then when they deny the offer, they could potentially be violating the Fair Housing Act. The way they do it is they buy all the land at once as a community together and then divvy it out. And I don't know if they just pay rent or they pay subsidies, whatever it is, but that's how they do it. And therefore, arguably, they're not breaking the law. Of course, there's always an argument on both sides. So last, I want to go to this comparison chart here. All right, this is for Freedom, Georgia. We're talking about the founding purpose. Self-safety. Autonomy, healing from racial violence, and then the return to land, the white-only community, ethno-nationalism, racial segregation. All right, membership for the Black community, Black families, inclusive to Black diaspora. Diaspora? What the heck's diaspora? I don't know. And then the membership for the whites only, white individuals of European descent, excludes Jews and people of color. Land use. For Freedom, Georgia, rural Georgia, under development, infrastructure, historical context for the Black-only community in Freedom, Georgia, echoes historical Black settlements for refuge and empowerment. And then for the white-only community, resembles white supremacist separatism. Guys, when can we stop being hypocrites and just say, if you're against it, you're against it for both parties, and if you're for it, you're for it for both parties. It doesn't have to be if this white-only group is for Hitler and the KKK, that is a little bit different. I don't know the extent of it, but as far as what they're doing and making a whites-only association and community, and then a Black onlys, I guarantee you, if you actually infiltrated this Black community, do you think they're all like for equality and stuff, or do you think they have Black Panther signs up? And I don't know. All I'm saying is, can we be transparent? Can we be fair? That's all we want. But hey, it goes back to my earlier point. Give them an inch, they take a mile. It's never about fairness. It's all about power and control.
For the latest in case updates, legal tips, news, and politics, make sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and our other socials, and above all, subscribe on YouTube to get your dose of excellence on a daily basis.